So as you can see, we have unlocked a big, real daddy Dormammu through our second run of Dark Dimension 5. And in this video, we're showing the best tips, tricks, and the lessons that I have learned through our second run of Dark Dimension 5. Some of it a little different than our first run. So if you're ready for the best tips to help you get through Dark Dimension 5 as quickly as possible, which characters to bring up, what are some strategies to these individual nodes, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Club. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We got at least 5 videos per week about Marvel Strike Force on this channel. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back. Now in this video, we're talking all about my second run of Dark Dimension 5. The lessons that I have learned, the good, the bad, the ugly that took us going through Dark Dimension 5. I'm sharing all these best tips and tricks with you. Some of them are a little different than the lessons that we learned through our first run. So this is the complete guide, and we're actually going through a third run just so we could get that cool border every day on the ValleyFlyin in the morning channel. So we do that on Twitch. So hopefully you can stop by, go through our third run of Dark Dimension. But yes, we're here to talk about my second run of Dark Dimension. So let's go into the game right now and take a look at some of the characters that I brought in. So the new characters that we brought in between our first and second run, we got some good ones here. Where are they? Well, we brought up Shuri. We brought up Squirrel Girl. We also brought up Agatha. There she is. And last but not least, where is Maria Hill? We might have passed already. We brought up Maria Hill there. Now, these characters I didn't bring up specifically for Dark Dimension 5. I wouldn't recommend bringing up any characters for Dark Dimension 5. My strategy always use the characters that you're, or build up the characters for Dark Dimension, whatever Dark Dimension you're in, the characters that you're gonna use after Dark Dimension, because after these 2 runs, and if you're like me, going for that third run for that border, you're not really gonna use these characters after that. So I like to bring up the characters that are not just good in Dark Dimension 5. Maybe they suck in Dark Dimension 5, but they're gonna give me a lot of value later. All right, so going through that, those are the characters that we brought up. I mean, we did get Dormammu, we brought him up after. That is when we finally got that Mystic gear. I think we were in Legendary when we finally brought him up, so we were past the Cosmic section. He did not make a difference at all, but man, if you got the 2 Eternals, Kestrel and Dormammu for your second run of Dark Dimension, you are gonna smash that thing. All right, let's talk about these individual nodes here. Going to msf.gg, looking at the map here, all these global nodes are pretty easy. If you have a lot of characters built up with Gear 16 already, you're gonna smash this. Maybe not in your first run because you're probably just trying to get these characters for City, but in your second run, you should one-shot all of these nodes. So let's move on to City. The first City node is this one, and there's some tricky characters here, especially on this opening wave. We got Rescue here. We got Squirrel Girl. We got a bunch of Groots. All they can cleanse debuffs off the team. We got Black Bolt, who's a little annoying there. We got Shang-Chi, so this node can be a little tough. We did not one-shot it this morning. And the characters that I brought in for this node are obviously the City characters. So let's take a look at the City characters that are non-legendary on my roster here. Same characters that we brought in. The only exception was we brought in Squirrel Girl instead of Spider-Punk. And if you remember from my first run through Dark Dimension 5, one of my biggest regrets was building a Spider-Punk instead of OG Spider-Man, because I thought Spider-Punk would be a little better in the raids for the Doom raids, but Spider-Man is gonna be good in that as well, and he's gonna be great in the Scourge event when the Scourge event for Morgan Le Fay comes back around. So got a lot of value with Spider-Man. That was one of my regrets from my first run. Now, we brought up Squirrel Girl. We did not bring up Dagger. We have Cloak here. As you can see, Dagger is still not Gear 16. If there was an abundance of Mystic gear and you had a bunch, you already had your Eternals done, you got Morgan Le Fay done, you got a lot of these Mystic characters done already. I would say after that, Cloak and Dagger are pretty decent priorities there. If you brought up Cloak and Dagger and Squirrel Girl and Shang-Chi and whoever you want for the 5th, I think you would smash through these City nodes. So those are my recommendations for that. Squirrel Girl added a lot of cleanse, and that is what we need, the cleanse and the healing, all the debuffs, the control with the time time manipulation to speed bar manipulation from Shang-Chi, managing the cooldowns for Cloak, trying to make sure that you have an ultimate available on each wave that pops up on all these nodes is important as well. Ghost Spider, she did some good things with her ability block and her ultimate spreading all the debuffs, but not really a huge factor. Same thing with Scarlet Spider there. They're good, but they're better characters as well. So let's talk about some better characters that I could have brought that if I had the right gear. Spider-Woman, I have not used her, as you can see firsthand, but everybody that has brought her into Dark Dimension 5 said how good she is. So this is another option for you. If you want to build up Cloak, obviously Dagger is a great choice here. One character that I did not bring into Dark Dimension 5 because I was disappointed how poorly she did into Doom Raids was Misty Knight. As you see, I'm not a big fan of war defense characters, but we brought up Misty Knight, testing her into Doom Raids, and I was not impressed at all, which is why she is not Gear 16. Other characters that might give you some value is Morbius. He is a good war offense character and is required for the Morgan, or not required, but you could use him in those 5th and 10th nodes in the Morgan Le Fay Pestilence Scourge event. Miss Marvel is another option there because she has that Young Avengers tag. They're a very good team just overall in the game and is required for the Rogue Scourge event. All right, Multiple Man is another character that's pretty good inside of Dark Dimension, but I don't know if I would recommend him for anything outside of that. And none of the rest of these characters are valuable. So that is a city roster. And then if we look at some more of these city nodes here, got more challenging. I think City might be the toughest challenge. We got all this Infinity Watch here. Adam Warlock, we remember we got to kill them twice. We got a couple Adam Warlocks here, Phyla-Vels, Moondragons, and that final city node is actually pretty easy. The big thing you got to manage here is these Kestrels. But once you can manage the Kestrels, these guys go down pretty easy. So I think the first and second city nodes are the toughest. Let's move on to the game and talk about the next section, the global section, our non-legendary global characters. Let's make sure we filter out the non-legendary here and talk about who I brought in. Now, the big change that we brought in from this one, we had 2 characters for global. We had Agatha Harkness, who I use sometimes to replace Sharon Carter, but I think the big winner here was Maria Hill. Now, we did not use Sabretooth at all on our second run. I still don't regret building him up for 2 reasons. 1, he's a very cheap character, and 2, he's a part of that Weapon X team, which is very, very valuable. Plus, bringing him up to Gear 16 is gonna give him a higher health pool, which means that when Misty Knight does her ability to block at the beginning of war, she's not going to be blocking Omega Red because Sabretooth has such a high health pool. So I did not use him at all, but I don't recommend him because of the cheap cost and what he does in Heroes for Hire. Now, one of the big MVPs, I think, in this game mode was Maria Hill, but you really got to manage all the shield troopers that she puts out. Because you want a lot of Doombots on the field. The shield troopers are nice because of the counterattack, because they can reduce some turn meter with their basics, but the Doombots are going to be more valuable, especially on certain nodes in global there. All right, Agatha Harkness, like I said, sometimes during some of the waves, on some of the cooldowns, I used her and she was very effective. The only thing about her, if we look at her ultimate here, very, very long cooldown. So unless you're getting a lot of energy from Captain Sam, which is totally RNG based, she's not using that a lot. She does have a stun on her special there. Sharon Carter also has a stun and an ability block. So some of the waves I thought Sharon Carter did a little better. Some of them Agatha Harkness did a little better, but Maria Hill is the best, is probably the best Secret Avenger outside of Captain Sam. Because of the cleanse and the heal that she does. Captain Sam is very valuable because of the taunt, the ability energy that he gives up, and the turn meter manipulation that he has with his ultimate there. Now, Lady Deathstrike and Doom, I think, are required. I think you need to build them up. Yeah, bite the bullet, build up Doom. He takes a lot of Mystic gear and tech gear, but he's going to be well worth it, especially for Dark Dimension 5 and any other content that you could use him in. Now, other options here that people are bringing in, some people like Gambit. Some people like Gambit. I don't see a lot of use for him outside of Dark Dimension. Beast is another good option here because Beast is part of that Axemen team. Now, they may be getting replaced, but Beast is probably one of the most valuable characters on that team. Other people have brought in Sinister and Emma Frost. I think they're a good combination, especially because they did have a little bit of time in the meta, and they're a very tricky war defense team. So, and if you like Crucible, you could use him in Crucible as well. Wong is not a bad choice because he is a part of the Darkhold team. They are the arena meta right now. Probably won't do a lot in Dark Dimension. So just know that if you build up Wong, especially because he has high cooldowns on his ultimate, he has high cooldowns on his special there. He's probably not doing much, but it is gonna help your arena defense and your arena attack. So Wong is one of those characters that will be valuable outside of Dark Dimension, not very valuable in Dark Dimension. Another character I want to mention is Dr. Voodoo. Some people have brought him up, and because of the healing and the other things that he does in his kit, some of the ability blocks, very good character. I don't have him built up firsthand to gear 16, but he is a part of that Morgan Le Fay Pestilence Scourge event, so gives you some value there. And then let's not forget about Kate Bishop. I guess if you have the shards for Echo, she can be a valuable choice as well because of that Young Avenger tag, but I think Kate Bishop will give you a little bit more value in Dark Dimension. She has a very strong ultimate, not as high cooldowns as someone like Wong. It does have a high turn cooldown, so you may not be using this very much. And I don't think there's a lot of other characters that are really worth building up in this global non-legendary section here. If we scroll all the way down, you got Phantom X, Sunfire, Dazzler. So if you're already building up that Unlimited X-Men team in preparation for Apocalypse, that may be the way to go. I don't think they're going to do too much in Dark Dimension. I don't have first-hand experience or have heard a lot of people that have brought up those Unlimited X-Men for Dark Dimension, but those are my choices. Let's go take a look at some of these nodes here. And this is the first node that we have in the legendary section, or the global section. Very, very tough here. We got a big opening wave here with some annoying characters. Yo-Yo reducing or giving offense down to some of the characters. The big threat here that we got to worry about is Squirrel Girl on that opening wave. Silver Surfer is always a threat. Miss Marvel makes it annoying because you can't really target the characteristics you want. Mordo has a stun. He has some heal blocks. Very, very annoying first wave. Once you make it through this wave though, there's still some threats. We have more Yo-Yos and Black Boats. Shuri there with the defense ups. More Squirrel Girls, and this last wave is probably the toughest there with a Black Boat, Yo-Yo. We have a Magneto with the blind, Jubilee with the blind, Hawkeye with the blind, Silver Surfer that's just very, very tough. And if you didn't kill this Squirrel Girl, you're gonna have a lot of problems. Now, one thing that some people are doing, leaving this M'Baku alive so that this Yo-Yo right there, or this Yo-Yo right there does not do all those offense downs to your characters because another protector is on the field. So that is one tip for this node. And this last one is not that bad. This is not a challenging node. Now, looking at the characters, it looks like it's pretty easy, but there are Squirrel Girls, there's Invisible Womans who can clear off debuffs, so there's some trickiness here. Now, one tip that I got from Reminex on the last node, as we're doing this for the first run, we had Doom for the global section, especially this last wave. This is a very easy wave right here. Killing that Sinister's is, once he goes down, that the rest of the wave is falls. But this wave right here, one thing that I did not expect is managing the Doom bots. So instead of doing the special to blow up all the Doom bots, have that big AoE attack, just using each of the Doom bots, attacking Doom, and that did a lot more damage than having that blow up skill. Now, like I said, you do want to manage your shield troopers and Doom bots, especially for this wave right here. But if you could manage them, hopefully you could get your troopers killed when you want them so the Doom bots can fall out or then can spawn. And then you could have them on the field to reduce turn meter and counterattack people. Managing that is going to be very important for this node. But that is the last node. Once you're done with that, then we're on to the next section, which is we're going up from global all the way to cosmic. And cosmic, legendary, very, very easy. Now, like I said, we did not have Dormammu for the last section of cosmic, but we went in with some pretty good characters, and it was pretty easy actually. I think the easiest section are going to be the cosmic section and the legendary section. Let's go back into the game, see who I brought in for these sections, and it's the same exact characters from the first one. Like I said, we did not have Dormammu for the second run. We finally got that Gear 16, the final Gear 16 piece for him. after we're already done with Cosmic. I believe we're already in Legendary, like I said. So, very good character. But the triumphant right here, Cersei, Icarus, and Kestrel. Save your Mystic Gear, because both these Eternals, building them up is going to make it a lot easier to get through Dark Dimension 5. But sticking with my theme here, I like the characters that have a lot of value outside of Dark Dimension 5, and the Eternals are in arena meta. They are valuable in Cosmic Crucible. They're valuable in War. They're valuable in pretty much every game mode. If Pocket Dimension or the other game mode that I can't remember because it's been so long, if those other game modes ever come back, or the Tower mode, if those ever come back, well, they'll have a lot of value. So still a lot of value for the Eternals, even though they've sort of fallen out of the arena meta, but they're still in there, even with some combo teams. All right, other great characters, obviously the non-legendary characters we have to look at there. So not Adam Warlock. Deathpool is okay, but she's a Mystic character, so you probably don't want to use a lot of Mystic characters. We use Star-Lord T'Challa, and I know the Gambit raids aren't coming back, but my goodness, I don't know who's more valuable, Silver Surfer or Star-Lord T'Challa with that in that game mode. But Star-Lord T'Challa, very, very good. And we brought up Ravager Stitcher, mainly because he's very cheap, or not mainly because he's cheap, but he is very cheap, and because he is, or he's gone. I actually hit the non-minion instead of non-legendary, but we brought up Stitcher. Pairs very well with Star-Lord T'Challa. Now, if you're just bringing up Stitcher and not bringing up T'Challa, might want to hold off on that. Minerva's lost a lot of value, but the other character that I might consider bringing up is Doctor Strange Heartless. Not because he's going to be very valuable in Dark Dimension 5. If you look at the ultimate here, very long cooldown, doesn't even start with that. This is a good move, 3-turn cooldown though, but yeah, I don't know how valuable he's going to be in Dark Dimension himself, but he's an arena character, part of that Darkhold team, so very, very good character. Silver Surfer, I think he's fallen out of the meta, and while he may be good in Dark Dimension, I don't have a place for him outside of this. Once these Gambit raids are done, it's pretty much done for that. Now, any trick he knows for Legendary, let's go take a look at these Cosmic section here. Not too much trick, especially with these Eternals, especially with Kestrel pinging. This Phoenix does not really do anything because Kestrel has a charge. She's going to stop her. So kill Phoenix very early. That should be your primary target, especially if you're bringing Kestrel. If you're not bringing Kestrel, you're not bringing Eternals, this Cosmic section will be tough. It will be tough. So save up your Mystic Gear for those characters. This node, not that challenging. There's nothing that really stands out here. As we go down here, we got a Doctor Strange. You got to make sure you kill him right away. He should be a primary target because he can flip all your buffs. Beast is a strong target as well. That is can be very annoying for you. You've got another Beast and a Squirrel Girl, both very annoying targets. Same thing with a Groot. Groot still has that annoyance in the PvE content, by the way. And the rest of these characters, once you get through those waves, it should be pretty easy. And last and final wave, this is there's not a lot of challenge here, especially with the Eternals on Kestrel for this final wave. All right, so that is it. And moving on, we are going to our legendary section here. And the characters that we brought in, one big change that I've had for my second run from my first run is Shuri, and that made it way easier. Took a lot of days off of that. So Omega Red and Morgan Le Fay, those are required characters. They make it so easy. The rest of them are kind of up for debate. I think Shuri is a very good character, not only because she's a tech character, not only because the Rakana's got a rework and they're pretty good now, but yeah, she's the only person with sustain that I have on this entire legendary team that I brought into Dark Dimension. Now, another character that some people want to bring in is Invisible Woman, and yes, she is very, very good in Dark Dimension 5, but reason I didn't build her up is because what are you going to use in Dark Dimension, or what are you going to use her for after? Fantastic Four is not really a meta team. She doesn't really have a place on any other team, so Invisible Woman, I don't think she's a great choice for Dark Dimension because it's a temporary game mode. You're going through it 2 times, maybe 3 times. All right, Black Bolt. We did not use him at all on this second run. Phoenix was a very good character. And I think through that first node, we did not even spawn Dark Phoenix. I don't think she died at all. These characters, Shuri with the defense up, with ability energy. More ability energy for Omega Red, more ability energy for Morgan Le Fay. Very, very good. And that heals. Those came in very, very the timing of those heals. We got very lucky with those. Jubilee's another great character as well. A little squishy in Dark Dimension 5, but is part of that best mutant team in Doom raids, so you're probably going to want to build her up anyway. Nick Fury is not a bad option, but he's very expensive. So if you have a lot of skill gear that you have already built up, your Secret Avengers and other more important skill characters, you want to bring Nick Fury, you could do that. Other people have also brought in Star-Lord because of that energy battery. Feeding energy to Omega Red and Morgan Le Fay is a good thing. And I guess if you have that Mystic gear, the Infinity Watch hasn't totally fallen out of the meta. So you're going to get some value there from some of these other Infinity Watch characters, but not as much value as Morgan Le Fay, Omega Red, Shuri, Jubilee. And I guess you could make the argument about Phoenix. Once she goes into Dark Phoenix, though, very good because that special gets all that drain, steals all that health from the enemies. Her ultimate's a very big move. So my recommendation is Omega Red, Morgan Le Fay. If you got the tech gear, build up Shuri. The other two are pretty much up to you based on your usage. Let's take a look at some of these nodes here. Nothing too challenging here. All the legendary characters should beat this. I think we one-shotted this pretty easily. This one, some tricks here from Jubilee there. We got to manage these hand sentry, I forgot his name for a little bit, because he could throw everyone in stealth and you can't attack some of the more important targets like Cloak, like Deathpool. This wave is pretty easy. This wave is pretty easy. This wave is pretty easy. And then this wave gets a little tricky. We got the Phyla-Vell and Moondragon. We have Silver Surfer, who's always tricky to face whenever you have PvP content, or PvE content, excuse me. Maria Hill, Sharon Carter, and Captain Sam, the full Secret Avengers right there. Tricky wave, but you should be able to one or two shot this node with those characters. And this wave, one or two shot this node as well. Maybe two shotting this node. There's a lot of Dooms on this wave, and these Dooms are not like the normal Dooms. If we could check out the stats of this Doom here, once this guy falls, then the game it's very, very easy. I don't even know if his stats are popping up. There he is. And that's not Dr. Doom, but he has a lot of tricks. And the thing is, he kind of behaves like Dormammu. So he not only will he bring himself back up to full health, he could bring the entire team back up to full health, revive characters. He does some really nasty tricks. So this Doom, once he's down, this wave, these Fantastic Fours cannot hold up to the rest of the legendary characters, Morgan Le Fay and Omega Red. So this is not that tricky of a node. These other two Dooms not as bad as far as I remember, but this one right here is kind of like a hybrid Doom and Dormammu. And that is it. That is my second run of Dark Dimension 5. Those are some tricks and tips. Those are some character recommendations as well, and some tips for each of those individual nodes. If you went through Dark Dimension 5 and have some other recommendations, have some other tips, some other things that you noticed for some of these individual nodes and characters, let me know that in the comments to help out the entire Marvel Strike Force community. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up to help that YouTube algorithm, and hit that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. That is it for today. I will see you guys next time. Check me out on social media. Check out BlueStacks. That is my player of choice. And if you want to save up to 20% off all of your in-game purchases, whether it be at Amazon Coins or whatever game you're playing, use the Amazon App Store, Amazon Coins. The link is down below. I will see you guys next time. Give me a Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Have a great day, guys.